Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, Dada. So Dada, we have Dada Prema Maya Nanda here, who is looking after the Academy, Ananda Marga International in Singapore since 2014, and you are the person who is behind the entire academy in Singapore. And
Yes.
I've seen so much of your profile, and you have done so much work in the past in establishing all the yoga society, community, and you conceive and built the yoga academy from scratch in Southeast Asia, Europe, and also in Australia. Thank you for having me, Dada, today. Namaskar.
Thank you.
So, Dada, basically, we'd like to know a little bit about yourself, and thank you for having us. It's a wonderful academy studio for your information. Everyone, this is where I started learning my yoga, my academy over here. And Dada is my instructor and our teacher in yoga and also in the mediation. So, Dada, would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself and about your background and your childhood and what brought you into yoga?
Sure. Thank you very much for having me here. This academy was built up in Singapore in 2010. Registered with CPE, and it was built up in 2008. So slowly they registered with the CPE Committee for Private Education. So it was built up by another Dada that was before me. I joined in 2014. How I came to Ananda Marga, and before that what I was doing. Well, I was growing up in a Christian family, back to Italy, where I was born.
Which part of Italy is that?
The southern part of Italy.
Nice
The tip
place.
of the Italia is known as similar to a boot. So I was born at the tip of the boot.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it was very good scenario, very good, beautiful environment. So I was not really thinking that today I will come into the yogic path. I was more, everything that I knew about yoga was more about the fakir, those yogi that sit for long hours under the sun or sitting on the nails, on a bed of nails. That was my understanding by the documentaries of the 60 and 70 that was coming in television.
So that was the idea before,
Yes.
in the 60s and the 70s,
And then something happened that I saw a picture, a small leaflet that was advertising the meditation session, a meditation lecture. And then since then I started to frequent Ananda Marga. But maybe I can tell you a little bit later about this.
How old were you at that point of time when you actually found that piece of advertisement that changed your life on that day?
I was about 21. I just had finished my Navy. The national service of Italy at the time was compulsory. So I finished my Navy 1.5 years. And I was really roaming around here and there to look for something to do.
Something to do.
And then I saw this, I was 21, I saw this beautiful picture. I would like to show. This is the book, Autobiography of a Yogi, written by Paramahansa Yogananda. And I saw this beautiful picture of Babaji The member of Ananda Marga advertised the meditation session with this photo.
Wow.
So I thought I must meet you at the time.
So
I had a strong desire to meet this person, this Babaji, which later on I understood was considered the eternal yogi that lived in the Himalaya for more than 2,000 years. There's an extraordinary legend behind him. That was my understanding.
At that time.
Yeah, that I will meet him.
Okay, so
then I was disappointed to see someone just like me now, coming with a beard, a bit fat, coming to give a lecture. I thought, oh my God.
But that piece of photo actually captivated and drawn you into attending that meditation or that yoga class. But when you saw the person who came dressing up like in this wonderful outfit and a man with a beard, but you still decided to stay and put your foot in even further. So there must be something that actually gravitates you even more into this.
I guess because I was, as you said, I was fascinated by the picture, by the looking, and I was also, I went several times to that picture to try to remember the address, and I didn't have a pen with me, so it was this poster there, A4 paper, black and white. And then I had no pen to take note of the place, the time, and the telephone number. And I was looking at it. Then I would move around, then come back again, try to memorize. Finally, I found a pen and then took note of the address. Yeah, there was some fascinating attraction towards this personality. And then I guess that once that attraction was so strong, it didn't matter who came to deliver the lecture. I was already captivated by the topic. So that night after the lecture, I led meditation.
Right.
And after that meditation, then little by little, because I was very conservative, coming from a very how to say, normal Catholic family, very conservative. I would be very hesitating in going in something else.
But you braven yourself. I mean, you put your guts. You were brave enough to be very curious. You were only 21, definitely very curious to know, to find out.
Yeah, I guess that what helped was first the image of this Babaji. The second was that I was practicing at home regularly the meditation, but I didn't frequent Ananda Marga for several months, or almost for half a year. Half a year I didn't go to meet any one of them. I just practiced myself.
Right.
But that meditation, that practicing alone at home, it
built you,
bloom up some spiritual
awakening
yeah,
for yourself. Yeah. So it impacted you in such a way, and at that point of time.
Yes.
Okay. Really interesting. But in your life, when you were at that age, like, what actually inspired you to stay in this and not going back to, when you grow up, when every one of us grow up, we want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or somebody, but somehow when you're 21 and you have been meditating, of course, at your own space at home, but the first step when you enter that meditation class and you met people who are interested in the same thing, you never look back and you stayed on till today after 30 years. So
probably the turning point was when I attended the first retreat of Ananda Marga. Because as a young boy living in that present modern society, I was smoking, drinking alcohol.
So I don't look that bad.
I was eating anything available without considering the property and the quality of the food. So I was consider myself very normal. But when I attend the first retreat, which I was forced to go, I mean, forced by my friend. My friend was always telling me, hey, you come meet the member of Ananda Marga. No, I don't want to come. Hey, can you come to the retreat? Okay, I will come to the retreat. Can you come and register? No, I don't come to register. I give you money, you register for me. So I didn't have attraction to a group, to live in a group. But when I attended, I was like a sponge. And when I was listening, when the people were talking about quality of food, they were talking about idealistic society, they were talking about the experience, the mystic experience, the bliss of this realizations of those who practice meditation. I was thinking, my God, but this is something that I want to be. And then I remember when I went back home, practically the retreat was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And when I went back home, at once I stopped drinking alcohol, I stopped eating non-sattvic food. In reality, I became vegetarian. Then I stopped smoking. And little by little, all my friends, either they were mocking me or just they stopped inviting me to any kind of gathering because I was.
You're keeping up to your rules very strictly. That okay, I'm not smoking anymore and I'm not drinking anymore. So you became to you know what they said about the birds of the same feathers flocks together, right? Like let's say when you have a group of friends who are smoking and drinking of that lifestyle, and then you suddenly change, so they are no longer your environment.
Exactly. So the first few times we still mingle together. Then they moved by themselves. They didn't invite me anymore. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. I become a burden for the group. But by the time I believe I developed a certain kind of, I would say, reverence, desire, to meet the guru, the founder of this Ananda Marga, because at the time was alive. And we can see him on the background.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So at the time, that's what I want to do. I just want to go to India and meet the guru.
To India, all the way from Italy to India.
Yes.
Wow. So that's a very long journey ahead. And I mean, coming back to when you decided to change your lifestyle and you were out of the group or somehow, you know, over here we also believe that we are who we are around us. So our tribe define us, and they always say that take a look at the five closest people that we spend our time with, and they are the reflection of you. That's how I also believe. So if let's say in a group and one of them decided to suddenly change out, and you know, which means to say certain things in them or certain things in us doesn't fit anymore. And we are experienced that in our life, in our stages of life, I believe. So but it's very interesting. But But have you ever imagined yourself to be where you are now when you were 21 at that point of time? Have you like vision? You have any vision that you will be in Singapore? You will be in the hustle and bustle of city with the casino and the Marina Bay Sand and
I
all
was not at all. It was not even in a dream.
Not in a dream at all. Okay.
Yeah.
And but you went to India after that, and that's how you started learning even deep into Ananda Marga activities.
Yes. In fact, when I come back from India, it was 1985 in April. I went in February, and I spent 3 months in India. When I come back, my intention was to be volunteer for Ananda Marga. Yeah, and when I come back, I was crying. I didn't want to leave India. Yeah, I didn't want to leave that condition. In the plane, I was feeling so sad. Looking. I was sitting at the window and then looking the soil of India, and the plane is moving little by little, slowly to take off, and I was really sad.
I know. I can imagine, because you must have left your heart there, and they have taken a piece of your heart over there, and lots of footsteps, of course, that you left behind.
Yeah, I was feeling that I had to go back just because my visa finished, and I had to go back. But I didn't have that kind of attractiveness back to Italy. Or to my family, as the attraction that I met in India. Yeah.
Definitely, in life, if something attracts you and something interests you, definitely you are constantly drawn into that thing, that place, or that person.
Yeah.
Right. So it's normal, and but definitely there's also some kind of extreme passion. I would say extraordinary passion of who you are. Like it is so natural. I think like over here, if we have to teach in a normal college or primary or secondary school, we have to go through a proper many years of training as a teacher. But with you, it comes naturally. What's your secret as an educator?
I did a lot of training in India. I spent a lot of time in the ashram with the guru, where he was living. I spent a lot of time in Varanasi training center, even when I was not speaking English. So I knew the lifestyle of the trainees to become acharya. And then finally I spent 1 year in Sweden training center, when I decided that I want to become myself a yoga teacher. I guess that it came spontaneous to leave everything behind. Yeah, that was very spontaneous. But the discipline of yoga, it was also, I would say, naturally absorbed by the daily activities that we were doing. We were doing daily activities, and then for so many legal reasons, I could not stay a long time in India all the time. So I would always go back to Italy. But after the first time, I became volunteer in Verona, which was about 900 kilometers far from my house. So we had a yoga center over there. We can say the headquarters of Italy, of Ananda Marga, and then I was living in that office, in that yoga center, yeah.
Okay, all right. Of course, and along the way, it's been, I would say it's been like 30 years, and with times that change, and there's so many yoga practitioners out there, many types of variation of yoga, and it's like which falls into modern times like right now. But yourself, Dada, you stick to the classic one, to the traditional one, and including me, I'm being drawn into the tradition and the classic yoga, like Ananda Marga kind of practice. So, what's your view on this practice in modern times with the modern people in these days?
Well, the spiritual aspect of yoga is not very well reflected in the so-called commercial yoga or modern yoga. The spiritual aspect that take in account the physical well-being, the mental well-being, and the spiritual development of the human being, I have to compare, unfortunately I have to compare, these three elements of physical, mental and spiritual are very well taken from the classical point of view, from the traditional lineage of yoga.
I agree that.
Yeah, in the so-called commercial or modern yoga is emphasize the physical aspect.
Right.
It's little or negligible about mental. The knowledge they share is very limited, unless someone individually they are inclined to that, so they study by themselves. But in general, it is limited to the physical level. The mental is a little bit negligible. Spiritual is almost neglected.
Yeah.
First of all, there is a fear to be associated with religion, but spirituality practically encompasses the cream of all the religion.
Definitely.
So it's a little bit different. When we talk about yoga, it engulfs all the religions. We can say that the highest expression of all the religions are imbibed into yoga. So it takes care of the spiritual aspect.
Definitely.
And then the mental aspect, I think our not only our guru, he wrote more than 200 books, but many spiritual gurus, they have a lot to share, and there's such a big, vast literature that we have on spirituality and on yoga in general. The classical.
Because I, as a student of yours, I also remember that in every asana, in every posture that we learn, we have to always consider the physical, the mental, the spiritual.
Yes.
Yeah, benefit of each asana. And now that we are facing pandemic still for the past over 1 year, almost everyone, we are very concerned about mental health. There's so much things going on, so much campaign, so much awareness that is being brought up, so much, I would say, solution. There are people who actually going around or trying to create more awareness about mental health during this point of time. And I would say that it is so much linked to all of the teachings that you have taught, even in a simple asana, one part, the most simplest asanas, yoga, like even the corpse pose, they call it the Savasana, which is the corpse pose, is also involving all of these aspects, including the mental. So, what do you feel? I would actually think that to learn and to be learning to be in depth into yoga would actually benefit everyone, because everyone globally is affected by the pandemic, and everybody in a very little way or another is affected by the mental health. What are your views as well?
It is true. It is true that the physical, mental, and the spiritual benefits it come automatically. You see, when we practice with this, the posture, so-called asanas, with awareness, mindfulness, they come. Okay, I rephrase this. When we practice in a classical or traditional way the asanas, the awareness, mindfulness, consciousness, it comes spontaneously. It comes automatic. It is a result of the proper execution of the asana according to a classic system. So if it is done with proper consciousness
and guidance,
yes, then I would say with proper ideation, then one become very conscious of what he's doing, become very mindful, become very aware of everything, the muscles, the nerves that are stretching, the position of one shoulder that is not relaxed, another shoulder that is more tense, and adjustment. So all this helps to understand each other, to understand our body, mind, and soul, and we understand also the development that we do step by step. So I would say that the classic yoga is more comprehensive, is complete in the expression of human being. Yeah.
No, right. And it's also because, like, I've also faced some kind of, I've been affected by the pandemic as well. I've been retrenched twice. I did before I attended your class. So I would actually encourage people who are facing such fears or such kind of a feeling during this point of time to actually take up yoga. Like it could be as simple as turning on a video and learn, or they can sign up for a school and learn to inspire other people, like the kind of course that you're conducting to teach as a teacher. So would you feel that way at the same time? Like, I feel very much improved in that aspect.
I would. Yeah, you are touching a point that is also one of my dreams.
Yeah.
You see, exactly this morning, I had a phone conversation with the mastermind of the structure of the school, of this school,
okay,
which is a professor and is living in USA.
Right.
He told me, Dada, when we ideated the structure of this academy, the yoga teacher training, our idea was to build up a university course. But because we are not registered as a university
yet,
not yet. we are conveying the same course, the basic course. We are conveying that as academy. But our dream is to bring this at the university level with PhD course and certificate and diploma. And whatever we can include more.
And the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because yoga is not only physical exercise. It is a vast lifestyle, and so far I would say millions of human beings. They proved that a yogic lifestyle is beneficial a lot from the physical and mental level, and of course from the spiritual point of view. So the soon this yogic lifestyle is embraced by the majority of the people, it will remove a lot of misery in the mind, in the body. I saw my transformation in myself.
Yeah.
I saw transformation in my yoga students.
And in me too.
Yeah. You see, I really enjoy to see one thing in every course.
Okay.
The way that the students come in and the way that they go out.
Okay.
They come with many physical and mental problematics.
Okay.
I don't say that they achieve samadhi, the blissful state on the spiritual level, because we are not at that stage yet.
And besides losing a bit of weight also?
Yes, but on the physical and mental level, I always see a tremendous improvement. And one thing is that in our yoga teacher training, we never see people get injured.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So there's no injuries.
Yeah.
Well, the way that the classical yoga is taught, it is very, very safe.
Very safe, and precautions are taken, and the knowledge is imparted to the student, what kind of safety in and out that we have to learn in each and every pose. That's one thing I would say that Ananda Marga focus and stress on the safety of a person, physical safety, so no one gets injured physically or anywhere else. Yeah. And of course, your future goals, like, you know, for me, I'm inspired to see someone of your generation that is so flexible and who's so versatile, who's an entrepreneur. Like, that's one of the things that I'm actually very amazed that besides an educator, a person who teach, you are also an entrepreneur, a business person with a good business mindset, what you have done in the past and even now. So very, very amazing, very inspiring. You know, like for me, I thought that after so many years, so many decades, and a person of your generation could have achieved and still achieving, still working on something. You always have something to do. You always want to have a goal, one after another. So what's next for you? Is it are you going to? How's your retirement like in your mind, and what's next for you? Your future goals besides changing life?
Yeah. Okay. I never had any retirement plan.
Okay.
But
no.
I have
you are becoming Singaporean.
Future program. I have a lot.
Okay.
But I'm focusing on this to have a few stages of evolution of our academy. The first stage is to be at least affiliated with some university. To give a course on university level, and the next stage after that, first as affiliated with some university in Singapore and some other countries. We are preparing now to do that. And second is to be an independent university. Again, I refer to this morning conversation with Acharya Ranjogista, to have different courses, and one of that was yoga and medicine, which is no one in the world is teaching this one on academic level.
On academic level,
yeah. So this is one about the school. I'm very fascinated about the school. The second one is that I'm working already for 3 years.
Okay.
Is that in 2004 I compiled this Ananda Marga dictionary, which is Sanskrit words, but using the Roman Sanskrit scriptures. So instead of using the Devanagari, I use the Roman Sanskrit scripture, and I would like to compile that one at least 100,000 words, but I already crossed 100,000.
Okay, wow.
So now I realize that is not yet complete, so I'm keeping updating all the time.
Definitely.
Just for your information, this one is only 2,000 words.
Okay.
That is 160 page.
Okay.
So that one will be a huge work.
Okay.
So that is these two projects I'm working on, and the third one that I would like to do is that when we get ready to have a independent university on yoga. I mean, not independent in the sense of private university, but we may convince some government to allow us to manage course.
A module or a learning faculty in yoga itself.
Exactly. A kind of campus where the people can come by the thousands and practice meditation and utilize meditation as a tool of experimentation. I heard that in Russia, the astronauts, they do meditation, or in some other countries, they also do meditation for experimentation. To test their nervous system or to improve their nervous system. There are many techniques in yoga. There is pranayama, is the control of the vital energy coming, the vital air, is breathing properly. There's so many techniques that the yogi know, but it is a kind of, as I said in the beginning, for me, yoga was something magical, something mystical, something impossible for normal human being.
But it's all science. I've been in your class. It's all science. It all makes sense to the olden days and the nowadays. It's all in science. The modern science. It applies as well.
Yes. So I envision that a day will come that yoga as a discipline will be a university level discipline. Like in the past, maybe. Astronomy was not at all recognized as a
course, not a recognized course.
No, they were telling you heretic, telling that the sun is not the center of the universe. No, our planet is not the center of the universe. That is part of astronomy that revolutionized. Create a big revolution in the way of thinking of human being. So I know that the day that yoga become accepted in the university level, it will create a strong revolution in the development of humanity.
And that is when your dream will come true.
And I dreamed that this will happen. Yes, thank you.
Very, very wonderful, very inspiring, and definitely, I'm sure, in one way or another, you will reach your goal someday.
Thank you very much.
And of course, with a good, I also believe where I come from, with a good intention, and there's always a possibility to get ourselves to that level or to that place. You just have to work on it in motion, and I think I've experienced that myself. When I have something that I want to work on, initially it's difficult, but I have to keep on moving, and eventually by and by, the environment, the people around me, there's always support for me to get there, as long as we have a good intention, I think. And definitely you have all of these aspects, and hopefully one day your dreams come true. And besides that, do you have any advice for the young people in these days, in the modern society right now? Do you have, what are your advice? If you can go back 30 years before, what would you also advise your younger self?
Well, but one thing we have to keep in mind as adults. Okay, there is a tendency for the adults to say, "Oh, on my time, we were doing something else," and And that was a good time. Now the children are spoiled. But this is the way that our fathers were thinking about.
Okay.
That was the same way that they were talking about.
Yeah.
So every generation has some innovation. So the new generation has a lot to teach to us, number one. So we should not discard anything, I mean the good things that the young generation is doing.
Yeah.
That's very important to acknowledge that technology, science is developing very fast and is developing a lot, and the children are better equipped than us. So that one is very important. But my advice is utilize this technology for your physical, mental, and spiritual development. If any one of this technology neglect any one of these three fundamental aspects of humanity, physical, mental, and spiritual, you better change direction. Something is missing.
Right.
If they all concentrate on mental activities and their body become like a balloon, or maybe they become sick, and then the obesity or whatever, so that is not correct.
Yeah.
If they become like a inflated body, but the mind is idiotic, it's also not good.
Okay.
Or if they only go into the Himalayan cave and stay there and meditate for 20 years, and then they come out, all their karma is exploding, and then they forget about everything in the 20 years lost.
Yeah, that's
no,
also not
there must
practical.
be balance.
There must be balance.
Exactly.
It's like a person who quit the job for 20 years and go to the Himalaya to meditate, and he leave the kids and wife behind, not having food.
No. That means the future, the present generation should understand that beside technology, there is the mind that should be developed properly, and the soul. Never neglect the soul. The mind and the body should be very well balanced and develop and progress together.
The mind, the body, and the soul, you mentioned, it has to be encompassed together, and to balance with the modern lifestyle at these times. Yeah,
should be in a harmony.
In harmony.
And not only individually, but also collectively. Yeah. So this is my advice to the present generation.
To the present, definitely. So, all right. Besides, before we end our session, I see some very interesting books, and some of them are actually being used as my textbook in our class, which is Ananda Marga Charya Part 3, which has all of the teaching us each and every poses, the classic poses, and describe things even about lifestyle and food and cleanliness. Is a very, I would say, it's a very good book about lifestyle as well. And
I consider this book Charya Part 3 with all the asanas and the guidelines how to practice asana, a kind of I'm sure I'm not making a mistake if I would say that this is a milestone in the yoga. It is presented very humble, but there is probably 100 plus beautiful publications based on this. With beautiful colorful pictures and other things, but all based on this, on this book.
Because this is,
I would say this is the Veda of the Veda, of the classic yoga in modern interpretation.
And it's so simplified, it's so simplified, and it's so, it's being put in a very simple terms, in simple sentences that is easy to understand. The illustration is also not complicated, and I would say is one of the good books that I've come across as well. And that's a lot to learn in this book. And,
yeah, this one, the first edition was done in 1962, and some of the articles were done in 1956. So just after the registration of Ananda Marga was registered in 1955. So it's not so long ago. It's quite a modern organization, we can say. So this book was one of the pillars of the lifestyle of Ananda Marga, of the members of Ananda Marga. And many practitioners of this asanas here, they live long, they have a very healthy, they never go to the doctor for all their life. It's just a regularity. Yeah.
Good body health gives good mental health, and life is good, and of course that's the direction that we all want to go. And of course we want to see the doctor lesser in our lives, and I would say this is one of them. And what are such a wonderful collections that you have as well here. So would you like to share briefly some of all these?
This is a collection of articles that has been compiled, but all about meditation in general. Yoga sadhana is spiritual practices of yoga, written by Shri Shri Anandamurti, this one as well, Shri Shri Anandamurti. And then we have this one is 16 points practically. It's Ananda Marga spiritual and social practices. And we also study in our class the 16 point for a successful life. This is very good. Then we have another one. This is a new book. Towards the Bright Future. It's written by Dada Shambhu Shivananda. It's printed a few months ago, not long ago. So it illustrates how we can move forward. And the title already say quite a lot.
All right, towards a brighter future.
Yes.
Right.
And then there's this one, Awakening of Women. You know, there are many believe that women can never have a liberation because they have to come in the body of a man before they get liberation. But here it's going to break many rules, many interpretation of the quality and the capacity of the women. So in Ananda Marga, the women have the same power, spiritual power of the men. So it means they also can get liberation.
So this is already being mentioned in the 1950s.
This one is also a compilation of articles. Some of them they are old, some of. But anyway, our Guru passed away in 1990. So before 1990. It's a collection of discourses,
okay.
especially about the women. Then we have a socioeconomic theory, we call it PROUD, the Progressive Utilization Theory. And we have also, another one is called Neo-Humanism, which is based on this book, Human Society, part 1 and 2. These two are quite revolutionary because in general the gurus they stick to spiritual issues, but our guru broke this rule. It came into socioeconomic. It came into social issues. So this one also sometimes it creates a bit of conflict with the.
It will be interesting.
With the way of that people think
about.
Then we have, of course, Tantra, and discourses on Tantra part 1 and part 2.
Okay, but of course in Ananda Marga, the word Tantra, I mean, there's a long conversation or discussion about this before, but it's definitely
it's not the Google Tantra that you end up by this, but it's we can say the real Tantra.
Okay.
Tantra means the expansion of the mind, the removing of darkness from the mind of the people.
And it's not what we Google at, because it's different.
Nothing to do with the Google search. One has to really understand the difference.
Dada Google, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last bits of books here. Okay, I understand this is actually similar to
this one is I did compile, but it's a compilation that I did, but it is extracts. The name itself say extract from yogic treatment and natural remedies.
Okay.
Which is this book that you are holding here. So this is the book, and what I did is something very simple. This book talks about different kind of sickness, and then there is one paragraph that it talk about the treatments about asanas, morning and evening, and then I just compiled this small paragraph into this book. So I just make it visualization of these items. And here, of course, there's a lot of sickness, appendicitis, hernia, and so many kind of sickness.
So most of the critical illnesses, I would say, is included here. I had a quick browse through of the book before, and you described some of the illnesses that what people commonly have these days, and the remedies to it, the natural remedies to it, is all described inside.
It talks about diet, it talks about what to do, what not to do. It talks about the asanas. A lot of suggestion that it gives, yes.
And it is all natural.
Yeah, all natural. It's one of the most fantastic books that, and one thing is that I accept Shri Shri Anandamurti as an authority. So when I read something here and then I repeat verbatim without changing any word, I feel that's authority talking.
Okay.
So that's my feeling. Maybe for somebody else it's not like that, but that's what I feel.
Okay, and last but not least, this book.
This yoga psychology. Yoga psychology is probably the most advanced book about yoga, but not yoga as asanas. Asanas, we already saw the book Charya Part 3. This is about asanas. This is about really understanding the meaning of yoga in terms of union. That yoga means union, and to be union there must be two entities, otherwise there is no unification. So this union is between the individual consciousness and the supreme consciousness. So probably this book is the most advanced book that after studying this and restudying again at least 2-3 times, then we have a very good and strong guideline
and understanding
about
what we do in every pose,
about our potentialities and in relation to the supreme consciousness,
and what we are, what we can do, what's our strength, and all that. We get to know ourselves better in that sense. And
we, by studying this and of course guidance practicing, we discover we have tremendous potentialities, undiscovered.
Good. So, there's so much things and so much an eye-opener, I would say, talking to you, and I wish I could spend more time talking. And of course, right now it's time for us to have our lesson quite soon. So, thank you very much, Dada, for
having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, and it is an honor to actually have me as one of your class, as one of your students in your class, I would say, and to benefit from every single every single bit, even the class and the chats we have, and even the lunch or over the weekend that we have in between the classes, and the breakfast that we have in between the classes as well on a Saturday and Sunday class, and making food, everyone with the classroom together. So it really affect and change how I think about yoga altogether as a modern girl, you know. So thank you once again, Dada, for having me and everyone else. So I think, from me, I wish you all the best in your dreams. Still a lot of ambition. You have 3 projects going on or going to do, and I hope you achieve to that stage, to that level sometime soon. And I hope to be part of the community from the time I step into the class and for the future onwards. We are ending our interview sessions with Dada Prema, who is the person who is looking after and managing the Ananda Marga International Singapore since 2014, right? 2014. Yes. And very honored and very excited to have him with us today. And thank you very much, Dada.
Thank you. Look forward to see you.
Thank you.